Tomorrow is July the 22nd. It is my first pre-op visit before my breast reconstruction. So I was going to show up to the appointment tomorrow, and then today they called me and they said, oh, we wanted to remind you, bring your compression bras with you because you need to try them on before the surgery. And had they not called me today, I would not have remembered to bring that with me tomorrow. So I would have just went to the appointment thinking it was just a regular checkup before my surgery. But they were like, no, you have to bring those because we have to make sure before you have the surgery that they fit the right way, that they're going to be enough for the compression needed after surgery. So they told me that I would need at least 2 compression bras, but I bought 4. And the reason was because it's kind of confusing because they tell you not to buy a sports bra, to buy a surgical compression bra, but they look very similar, and they want your compression bra to have cups in it, not to be completely flat like a sports bra, because they don't want your breast being pressed too flat. But it's very hard to get that combination of everything that you need. You need a wide band on the bottom, and it has to be very supportive, and it has to have a lot of compression because it helps to minimize bleeding, and also helps reduce pressure and edema after the surgery. So they said that after the breast reconstruction that I'll also have swelling in my torso. And the reason for that is because you have a lot of drainage coming from the surgery and edema, swelling, and that tends to flow down and drain into the torso area. So they tell me for a couple of weeks after surgery, my torso will look a lot wider and swollen because of the breast surgery. So that was confusing because, normally you order bras in a width size, band size underneath the breast, and also a cup size. So I made sure that I ordered some that fit me now and some that are just a little bit larger to accommodate for any swelling that I might have. I bought 1 beige one, 1 black one, no, 2 black ones, and 1 white one. And I think the white one was probably a mistake because I will have drainage and bleeding after the surgery, and white was not the best choice. Really, I should have bought all black. I also bought 3 sets of pajamas that are button front because a lot of women do not think about this, but when you have breast reconstruction, you're not going to be lifting your arms over your head to get dressed. You need something button front that you can slip on and just take on and off with buttons in the front, as well as all of my compression bras either have zippers or snaps in the front. So tomorrow I'll be at the pre-op visit, and we're going to talk about different things about the surgery. We're going to try on the bras to see which ones will be the best for my surgical needs. And then we're going to talk about anesthesia. Let me try to say that one more time. Anesthesia. That's very hard to say. And so I do have a little bit of fear about anesthesia. So we're going to go over those fears and, just anything like, they'll ask you, did you ever have any kind of heart rhythms that were irregular in the past. And in the past, I have had bradycardia, just an idiosyncrasy that can show up sometimes. I'm not going to tell you all my medical history, but there were just a couple of things that concern me. So we're going to go over that tomorrow. I am really glad that at least I have researched all of my procedures thoroughly. In the beginning, I was confused and in denial about having some of those procedures, but I have come around and I have agreed to 3 different procedures, and I feel pretty confident with my surgical team and the decisions that I've made. So on August the 20th, I will have a total capsulectomy, a breast implant exchange from under the muscle to the glandular tissue, and I will be having a mastopexy, which is a breast lift, all 3 procedures on the same day. And because of my medical history and my medical ongoing issues and my past history, all of my procedures are deemed absolutely medically necessary, and they are covered under my insurance under the Women's Right Act. So I'm very glad for that. My sister, who is a RN, will be taking me to the surgery on August the 20th and then taking me home from the surgery when I'm ready. After that, I'll be taking care of myself pretty much, but I think I'm going to be okay. I wanted to tell you that a lot of times on my social media, I may post something that not everyone agrees with. Now, I'm a open book kind of person. I'm the kind of person that I do say things, I do post things that may not be agreeable with every person. Such as recently, I posted a photograph of my breast that I turned into art. So it's not like a nude photo of my breast where you see it in plain sight. It is camouflaged by art, made into art. Now, I don't consider that to be something that is offensive. Number one, because we should talk about breast issues. We should be able to talk about breast reconstruction. So I posted it. There may be some people that are offended by it, that don't like it, like they've never seen a breast before. I mean, come on, get over it. It's not like I'm posting nude photos of myself standing with my areolas right in everybody's face. I mean, you know, there are people that do that. I'm not doing that. If I have any regrets about my breasts, let me tell you what the number one regret is. At 61, I've never been pregnant. My number one regret is that I never produced milk. Let me tell you why that upsets me. Because had I been able to produce milk, I would have been like the National Geographic women who feed all the hungry, starving animals with my breast. I would be just like them. And I don't think that there's any difference, because humans have abused cattle for years and years and years, taken away their calves for their gluttony of drinking milk. So don't say to me that feeding a starving animal with human breast is a terrible thing. I would absolutely do it. If I would have ever made milk and saw a hungry animal, I would have just popped them right on my breast. there's other things about me. Like recently, I posted a video about women's pleasure. There was a reason that I did that. I'm the type of person, I don't want to be a hushed woman. I want to be able to talk about important things. And women's pleasure is just as important as men's pleasure. Every single time I turn on the radio, every single time you turn on a television show, there are ED ads for men. There are Viagra ads. It's always about a men's pleasure. I'm tired of that. When do we ever hear how to improve a woman's pleasure? So I'm not going to be quiet anymore. I'm sorry, but if you don't like the things that I talk about, and there's going to be some things you will not agree with, then you don't have to listen to it. Just skip over it. Or just recuse yourself from my page. Just, grow up. You don't have to agree with everything that I say. You don't have to like the pictures of my breasts that I posted that are artwork. If someone is offended by artwork, then, really, something is wrong with you, not me. So, I am not sorry. I have no apologies for anything that I have posted recently. And I will continue to update you about my surgery. I feel a little bit anxious because it's getting closer and closer, and even though at this point it is still 5 weeks away, it feels like it's going to be tomorrow because I know what's going to happen. Those weeks are just going to fly by, and then the day of the surgery I'm going to be scared to death. Anyway, I'm prepared. I've got my 4 compression bras, which the hospital or the doctor's team tomorrow is going to help me pick which ones are the best out of those 4 bras. I've got my 3 button-up pajamas, brand new pajamas that I bought because I won't be able to lift my hands and arms over my head to get dressed. I have to have button front things, just like all of my bras are now button front. Please remember that if you see me after surgery and I look really bloated across the torso, that's normal after surgery. They told me that I will have a lot of edema, a lot of swelling in my torso area. So if I look really chunky after that surgery, it's the breast and the torso. I'm going to look that way at least for 6 weeks. Let's see. My sister is taking me to the surgery. She is a registered nurse. She's been a nurse for over 35 years. She will be taking me to the surgery, and when I'm ready to come home, she will be taking me home. So I think that I'm going to be fine. I may not be able to raise all of the money that I needed for my out-of-pocket, and I wanted to pay 100% of my out-of-pocket because then the insurance company pays 100% instead of 70%. But I just don't know, with all of the things that are coming up, if I'll be able to reach that goal in entirety. But I may have the option of getting a little bit of financing. I'm going to try that to see if I don't come up with a full amount, that I can finance the rest through the hospital care credit. I don't know if I can or can't, but at this point I'm not going to worry about it. My main goal right now is to keep myself in a healthy, upbeat mood, because it really matters before my surgery to not be stressed out. In fact, my supervisor was talking about me 2 days ago, and he was talking about me, and he said, "This is how I describe you to my family." He said, "Feather girl." What he's referring to is the other day he got in the patrol car, and he was like throwing out white feathers out of the patrol car. And he was very upset. He was like, "Why are there feathers in the car?" And the minute that I saw him throwing the feathers out, I knew it was me, because I've been picking up feathers the entire 2 weeks. Because every single time that I would get out of the patrol car, there was a feather directly where I opened the car door, right in my path. And to me, being a spiritual person, that meant that it was a spiritual totem or a spiritual omen. So I would pick up the feather every time and I would save it. And so I was trying to explain to him about spiritual omens and the meaning of a white feather. And he's like, "I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to hear it." He's like, "What are you doing? Killing chickens in the car?" I was laughing so hard that tears were rolling down my cheeks because I thought it was so hilarious. And I told him, I said, "No," I said, "it's good luck to pick up feathers that are in your path, because it usually means that angels are trying to tell you something. It is a good luck sign." So now he calls me Feather Girl. So he was telling his family, he said, "You know what I like about Officer Brasky is 8 people can cuss her out in a day when she's telling them get out of the fire lane, don't park the opposite way in traffic, all of those different things that are my job, get off the property." He's like, 8 people can cuss you out, and you're like, "Well, have a nice day." And that is because I'm not going to let anybody F with my mood and ruin my day, because it's just not worth it. You know, I am such a nice security officer. I used to be a correctional officer. I wasn't so nice then. But I'm so nice that I will try to tell people all day, look, if you leave your car, it absolutely 100% will get towed. And some of them don't listen, and they come back and their car is gone. I didn't do it. The property owner did. I tried to warn them and tell them, but they were stubborn. Didn't want to listen to me. We have motorcycles that park in the handicap zone in the prohibited area. I will very nicely approach them and say, "I just want to give you the information that if you park in this prohibited area, when the city marshal comes through," and they do come through every hour, "you are going to be ticketed." And some of them are like, "Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the information. I'll move right now." And then some of them are assholes, and they're like, "Well, I'm going to park here anyway." They come out and they have a ticket on their motorcycle. So I'm always the type of person that I would try to warn someone. In fact, about a week ago, there was this very nice SUV and a kind of uppity looking couple. They drove up in front of the property. They were facing the wrong way in traffic, and they were in the fire lane. So I pulled up behind them with my flashing lights. I got out. I wasn't rude. I said, "Look, do you think that you could at least work with me a little bit? You're facing the wrong direction and you're in the fire lane." And the lady turned around to me and she said, "You know what? I have never seen a security officer actually do their job." And she laughed. She thought it was hilarious. So they moved their car, and then they came back around to me. And the lady said to me, "You know what?" She stopped by my window, stopped her car right by my window, and she says, "I just want to tell you something. You really rock." And she says, I own a security company in another city. If I knew that you were in my city, I would definitely hire you. And I said, well, thank you so much. Because not everybody appreciates me. Anyway, I try to always be upbeat, even when I'm particularly really, really down. And these are very personal things